Dad asks about your address for the invitation. So something happened today that completely changed the tone of everything. I was just sitting with my dad, going over some family stuff, birthdays, little events, catching up on who's doing what, when suddenly, right in the middle of it, he looked up at me and asked real calm, "Do you have her address?" At first I was like, "Wait, what?" Because he didn't say your name. He didn't say why he wanted it. He just said it like it was something he had already decided. I looked at him and said, "Why? What do you need it for?" He picked up this small stack of cards he'd been holding and said, "We're sending invitations, and I want to make sure she gets hers." That moment, I can't even explain how I felt, because he didn't say, "Should we invite her?" He didn't say, "Do you think she'd want to come?" He just assumed you were part of the list. He just included you without question, without hesitation, like you were already family. And listen, coming from him, that's a big deal. He's not the kind of man who rushes into accepting people. He watches, he observes, he pays attention quietly, then makes up his mind. So when he asked for your address, it wasn't just about a piece of paper. It was his way of saying, "She matters." It was his way of letting me know, "I see what you see in her." And the truth is, he's seen a lot. He saw how I've changed since you entered my life. He saw the calm in me, the growth, the way I've started carrying myself differently. And today that little sentence, "Do you have her address?" that was him saying, "I respect what she brings into your life. I want her in the room, not on the sidelines, not as a guest of a guest, but as someone who's now included." So if you're wondering why I'm smiling today, if you're wondering why I suddenly seem quiet, but kind of emotional, that's why. Because the people I love most, they're starting to see you the way I do. And this invitation, it's more than an invite to an event. It's an invitation into something bigger. After he asked for your address, I didn't answer right away. Not because I didn't want to give it, but because I just sat there for a second, processing everything that moment actually meant. You know, growing up, my dad never really played around with relationships. He wasn't the type to sit down and ask, "So, who are you dating?" or "What's going on in your love life?" He was more of the "let me see who's still around in a year" kind of father. So for him to bring you up without me saying anything, told me something deep. He's been watching quietly, carefully, and you impressed him without even trying. See, you weren't loud about your presence. You didn't force yourself into family stuff. You didn't overdo anything. You just stayed consistent, kind, respectful. And that's what stuck with him. He noticed how I talked differently when I mention you. He noticed how I've become more focused, more grounded. He noticed how I smile, even when I'm not talking, because I'm thinking about you. So when he said, "I want her to be there," I knew right then, this isn't just about an invitation. This is about inclusion. He's opening a door, not just to an event, but into our space. That space where we don't let just anybody in. That family circle that doesn't expand often. And I won't lie to you, part of me felt a little emotional, because I know what that means in our family. It means you're not just someone I talk to. It means they see you as part of what's coming next. That invitation he's writing, that envelope with your name on it. It's not casual. It's his way of saying, "I trust your presence. I trust your energy around us. I trust the way you treat my child." That's the kind of unspoken approval most people never get. That's the kind of gesture that holds more weight than any big speech. So later that day, I texted him your address, and he replied with just 3 words. Perfect, she's in. He didn't say thanks. He didn't say, okay, let's see. He said, she's in, like a final stamp, like you were already part of it, and now it's just official. So if you get that invite in the mail soon, if you open it and feel like maybe it's too early or too serious, please don't overthink it. You've already been in the picture. This is just the moment the rest of the frame catches up. The next morning, I woke up to a message from my dad. It was a photo, just a picture of one single invitation, placed carefully on the edge of the kitchen table, but I knew exactly what it meant. That was your invitation, and he didn't say much in the message. Just wrote, sending this one first. Now you might not realize how big that is. We've got family, friends from every corner, relatives who haven't even been to our place in years, but they're still getting invited. And yet, yours was the first one. That's not about formality, that's about priority, that's about respect. He's saying, without needing to say it out loud, she's important. And that word important. It hits different coming from him, because for years I watched him protect his space, his people, his name. He's not quick to hand out trust, but once he gives it with his whole chest. So when I saw that photo, I just sat there, quiet, still, taking it in, because it wasn't just a moment between me and my dad, it was a message for you, even if you didn't hear it yet. It was him saying, you're not just welcome here, you're expected. And I know how your mind works. You probably worry sometimes, worry that you're too much or not enough. Worry if the family will like you, if you're too quiet or too soft-spoken or too different. Let me clear that up now. You're exactly what this family needs. You bring something we haven't had in a while. Not drama, not attention, but balance. You know how to listen without judging. You know how to speak without forcing. You show up not to impress, but to understand. And that's why you got invited first. That's why the envelope got sealed with extra care. That's why my dad made sure it would reach you before anyone else's did. Because when someone shows up with a clean heart, you don't wait to make them feel included. You lead with them. You honor them. You center them. And that's what he's doing now, through that invitation, through that silence, through that quiet respect. So when you check the mail in a day or two, and you see your name on that cream-colored envelope, don't just think of it as a card. Think of it as a message that says, you're already part of this story. We're just putting it in writing now. When your invitation finally arrived, I was watching closely. Even if I didn't say it out loud, I already knew the day it was supposed to show up. But I didn't tell you that. I just waited to see your reaction, because I knew it would be something simple, but unforgettable. And when you opened that envelope, I watched your eyes move slow over every word. I saw how you held it with both hands. Not like it was just paper, but like it was something heavy, something that meant something. You didn't say much at first, just looked up, smiled softly, and asked he really wanted me there. That one question made me want to pause time for a second, because I realized you weren't questioning your place with me. You were just still adjusting to the idea that someone else, someone like my dad, had chosen to personally include you. That hit me hard. See, you've always been the type who doesn't ask for much. You're not the loudest in the room. You don't expect special treatment. You're used to working for respect, not just receiving it. So this moment, this small invitation with your name written carefully on the front, it was more than a gesture. It was a breakthrough. Because my dad, he's old school. He doesn't move based on feelings. He watches behavior. He measures consistency. And the fact that you passed that silent test means more than any fancy title or gift. It means he sees you. Not just as the one I'm with, but as someone he can trust, near our family, our table, our name. And then came the real part. He followed up. Later that evening, I went to visit him again. We were sitting quietly like we usually do, TV playing, both of us half watching. And then he said out of nowhere, "Did she get it?" I nodded, told him you did, told him how you held it, like it meant something. He didn't even smile big, didn't say much, just nodded once. Like that answer confirmed what he already believed. Then he said something I'll never forget. "Good. Now let's make sure she feels like she belongs when she walks in." You don't even know how rare that is, because people will invite you, but not everyone makes space for you. Not everyone makes you feel like it's okay to be yourself once you arrive. He wants you there fully, not pretending, not quiet, just to blend in. But as you, the same you who supports quietly, the same you who shows up without cameras, the same you who helps me breathe on the days I don't talk much. That's who he's welcoming. So this invite, it's more than an entry pass. It's him passing the torch, saying, "I've seen enough. She's solid. She's welcome here." And me, I already knew that. It sealed something in me I didn't know, still needed sealing.